Hey everybody. How's everyone doing? Hope you're well. And hopefully you can hear me. That's a big hope. Let me know if you can hear me, if I'm too loud, too quiet, or what. You can hear me. Excellent. Excellent. I thought you could see me too, but apparently I forgot to change cameras. Yes, you can hear. Good. Yes, this is great. Excellent. That is great news. I love it. How's everyone doing? Hopefully everyone's doing well. Hey, well done, Nelson, on getting everyone to wish Lynn a happy birthday. Fantastic. So, fun story. Today is actually my mom's birthday, the 26th of January. Happy birthday, Mom. I hope you're watching. And so, Nelson wished Lynn a happy birthday. And I'm like, I don't think it's Lynn's birthday. I think I would have remembered if Lynn and my mom shared a birthday. Like, that would just be a unique talking point. Anyway, so I had to go and look up Lynn's birthday because I didn't think it was true. And then everyone just kept wishing happy birthday, and it was fantastic. And as soon as she logs into Discord, she's gonna laugh really hard. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be great. Yeah, that's right. So there's a leader chat that none of the students are in, and so there was conversation there. Is it really Lynn's birthday? I'm like, no, I don't think so. And Amy found out, or remembered that it was her brother's birthday. Good times. Good times. That's funny. So well done, Nelson. Big old thumbs up for you for tricking everyone. So I've got a fun game tonight to play. We're gonna have a lot of fun with that, and tonight is week 4 of our Distinct series. So we finished that up tonight. Yeah, some good stuff. Good stuff coming tonight. We'll count it down. 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Welcome to youth. Welcome, welcome. Glad that you could be here tonight with me. And, I'm hopeful that we're going to get back to being in this room really soon. The public health update was not anything that I was surprised about. It doesn't exactly change our situation here because we are allowed to have 50 people in this room, and as long as you are all vaccinated, which, I mean, the majority of you are, we're fine to meet. So I have a little bit of work to do before I can actually say we're going to be in person next week. However, that is my goal. That is my aim, is to be back in person next week, okay? I will email parents. I will post on Facebook. I will post in Discord. Matter of fact, Discord will be the first place that I post in the announcements channel. You'll be the very first to know what is happening next week, okay? So keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, we'll get going, okay? Let's see. Oh, Doge. Hello, Doge. Let's see. What do we have? Oh, we have announcement-y things, which I was just kind of talking through. But the announcement-y things, we're going to talk about the rules. The rules are simple. Be good is our one basic rule. Online works a little bit differently than everywhere else. You know, being in this room, I often tell you stop talking or to take your conversations out in the hallway. Online is completely different. I encourage you to talk while I'm doing the stuff. So if you have things to add to the lesson time or to the night in general, feel free to add them to the chat. If your chat is not on topic, please refrain from talking. So if I'm talking about being distinct and how Jesus is distinct, and you're talking about the distinctness of a dragon that you once saw, that is not helpful to the chat. Keep that inside, not outside. Okay? So that's that. The rules are simple. We have awesome leaders, and I'm really thankful for our leaders. They are Amy. I look at the screen because I don't want to miss anyone. It's not because I don't know who they are. Amy, Ed, Kristen, Lynn, Steph, myself, and Chad is our senior high small group leader that meets on Sunday nights. We'll talk about that in just a second. But say hi to your leaders in the chat. Tell them that you think they're awesome and that you love them. There is a car here outside, and I don't know who it is. I'm glad I'm live streaming, because if it's a murderer and they come in, you'll all witness it and be able to call the police. Okay, anyways, enough of that. Let's see. Those are the leaders. There's Doge. Oh, I wanted to talk about Sunday Night Youth. If you are in grades 9 and above, you qualify for Sunday Night Senior High Small Group. We have an amazing Senior High Youth Room over at Wingate. If you haven't seen it recently, I'm gonna take a video tour of it, hopefully sometime later this week. I'll post it in Discord in the senior high chat, so that you can have a sneak peek at it, because it is excellent looking. So I'll give you a sneak peek at that. So if you're in grades 9 through 12, you're welcome to come to that. We're still in discussion about when that's coming back. It's not back yet, so don't go to it yet until you hear. Again, we'll announce all those things in the Discord chat. I see Doge on the screen. That means it's time for a game. Get your fingers all loosened up, because it does require a little bit of typing. I'll be watching YouTube for your feedback, and let's do this fun game. It's called Fictional Family. Fictional Family. It's Jay Bro outside banging on the door. Okay. Fictional family. So I'm going to put 2 characters up on the screen. I'll go full screen with this so you can see it, because it's a little bit hard to read sometimes. So I'm gonna put 2 characters on the screen. You're going to see a character on, well, if you're looking at it, it'll be on your left. Okay. On the left, you need to tell me how that character is related to the character on the right. Okay. So like if it were, let's see, me and my oldest daughter Capri, I would be her father. Okay, that's the relationship between me and Capri, my eldest daughter. Okay, see how that works? Okay, relationships. Okay, so I'm gonna put a family on the screen, and it's multiple choice. Okay, so don't get too worried. Okay, type in what you think the family relationship is. If you are right, you give yourself a point. If you are wrong, you take away 1 point. If you do not guess, you take away 5 5 points. Okay, or whatever. Keep track of your score. I'm gonna try and keep track of my score, and I've only seen 2 of these, so I'm a little bit of a cheater. Okay, let me put this up full screen. All right, there we go. Here we go. All right, so your characters are Magneto and Speed. Okay, Magneto and Speed. Now you need to tell me what their family relationship is. Is Magneto a grandpa to Speed, a great-grandpa, or an uncle? Answers are coming in. That's good. What is he? Magneto to Speed. No, you can't give me cop-out answers. Uncle, grandpa. Never heard of them. Yeah, if you don't know who they are, just give your best guess, because you lose 4 points if you don't guess. All right, let's find out. Oh, he is the grandpa of Speed. He's Speed's grandpa. Nice. All right, next one. Oh, a little Lord of the Rings action. All right. Frodo Baggins and Peregrine Took. Took. Yeah. Frodo Baggins, Peregrine Took. Now, what is Frodo to Peregrine? Peregrine Took. Is he his cousin, his first cousin, or second cousin? Some of y'all don't know the mathematical equation to figure out first cousins, second cousins. All right, let's find out. What is the family relationship here? Second cousins. Now, did you read the book and figure that out? I don't know that it says it in the movie. I would say first cousins and cousin are the same thing. Pretty sure they are. I think you're right. Okay, next one. All right, Bellatrix Lestrange and Nymphadora Tonks. All right. Is Bellatrix Lestrange the aunt or aunt, depends on where you're from, the cousin, or the sister? Bellatrix Lestrange, Nymphadora Tonks. All right, let's see. Oh, she's her aunt. Bellatrix is Nymphadora's aunt. And I'm trying really hard to say it the maritime way of aunt, not aunt. In New York, we say aunt. Oh, Maddie, so disappointing. So disappointing. All right, next one. Fergus McDuck and Huey Duck. Is Fergus McDuck Huey's grandpa, great-grandpa, or father? I am so American. So American. All right, great-grandpa, great-grandpa, great-grandpa. Say that 5 times fast. Just do it. Great-grandpa, I can't even do it anymore. Great-grandpa. Let's find out. Enough guesses have come in. Let's see. Great-grandpa, you guys are smart. Amy, did you know that one? I think you knew it. Okay, next one. Who's this? Oh yeah, Shmi Skywalker and Ben Solo. Shmi Skywalker and Ben Solo. Is Shmi the grandmother, great-grandmother, or Ben Solo's aunt? Grandma, great-grandma, aunt. All right. Let's see. Can you change? You can change your answer as long as the new thing hasn't come up. Okay, Maddie's changed to aunt. Let's see. I'm clicking the button. Here we go. Great grandma. Great Scott. Great grandma. Jed, you got that in just in time. All right. Let's see. Okay, Barbie and Skipper. Is Barbie Skipper's sister, Skipper's mother, or Skipper's aunt? Okay. What is the relationship of Barbie and Skipper? This is very important. Grandpa. Jay Bro, you're either really far behind or you're making up answers. Oh, Capri, I see you. You jumped in there. Sister. Let's see. Let's see it. Here we are. Sister. Yes. Good work. Give yourselves points. Take away points. Great grandpa. You kids. All right. Tia Rosita. Should I say that more? Tia Rosita or Miguel? Tia Rosita and Miguel. Great aunt, a great aunt, or just an aunt? Great aunt, aunt. I see a couple greats, 3 greats, and 1 great. Now, are you put a percentage on how positive you are beside your answer? Is it a 99% great, or a 50% great? Oh, Maddie, pulling out the Spanish linguistics. 0%. 110%. All right, let's find out who's right, who's wrong, who's losing points. Oh, the great aunt. It's a great aunt. There we have it. 1,000,000%. I'm not counting zeros, I just guessed. Okay, next one. All right, Jor-El and Superman. Jor-El and Superman. Are they brothers? Is Jor-El the uncle, or is Jor-El the father? You know, I don't think I watched that movie. The last one with Tia and Miguel. I don't think I watched it. It's been on in our house, but I don't think I watched it. Father, you thinks? Uncle, brothers, 0% sure. Father, uncle, 1,000%. All right, let's find out. Some people are going to be sad. Let's see. Father, Jor-El is Superman's father. Do you remember Superman's Kryptonian name? His dad's name was Jor-El, and his name was Kal-El from the house of El. Ooh, some lore for you. Okay, Ahadi and Kopa. Ahadi and Kopa. Ahadi? Okay. Are they cousins? Is he the great-grandpa, or is he the great-uncle? Maddie, don't make fun of aliens' names. Now, bonus points if you can tell me what show these two are from, because I actually don't know. I would go Cousin just because they look kind of young. I would probably say Cousins for this one. Does anyone know, like, for certain because they know the show? Well, I assumed it was Lion King, but not like the Lion King, but like Simba's Child Adventures. Is that a thing? It must be on like Disney Plus or something. Yeah, I was thinking Lion Guard too, but I've watched Lion Guard and I don't remember either of them. All right, let's see. Great grandpa? What? He looks so young for being a great grandpa. That's amazing. All right. We got Poseidon and we got Hades. Okay? So is Poseidon cousins with Hades? Is Poseidon the brother of Hades? Is Poseidon the father of Hades? Genie. Maddie is certain of this one. A lot of brother talk here. Brothers. Okay, get those answers in. What's the family dynamic here? What do you think? Father. That's actually pretty accurate. 90% of Greek gods are siblings. That's so true. All right, let's see. Get those answers in quickly if you haven't yet. 3, 2, 1. Brothers. They are brothers. Who Googled that before I could hit the button? I think that's the last one. It is the last one. All right. So what that means is that it's now time for our lesson. And I'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Distinct. We've been looking at some things that are different, that are unique, and, well, distinct. And sometimes the differences are really easy to catch. Sometimes they're harder to find. And sometimes in life we play this comparison game and we compare ourselves to other people. And when we do, the differences we spot are usually seen as negative things. We criticize others when they seem a little too different, and we criticize ourselves when we feel like we're the different ones. But what if, instead of criticizing our differences, we learn to celebrate them instead? Now, is anyone here an incredible beatboxer? Anyone? Some of you might be, but most people aren't. I got to watch a video this week of a father-daughter beatboxing duo. And they do these like beatboxing battles between the two of them where like the dad starts and then his daughter like one-ups him and they just keep going back and forth. Anyways, they got good enough that they were actually invited into a TV show, the James Corden show. I don't know if you know him or not, but it's kind of a big deal for musicianal people like that. And so they're doing this beatboxing thing on TV and like put it up on the internet afterwards. You can Google it and watch them. And people are cheering and clapping and screaming and like just going crazy over this father-daughter beatboxing duo. And it's so cool and so weird. Now, what if when we noticed someone with a trait or a skill or a quality that was different from ours, what if we responded to that like the audience responded to those beatboxers? I mean, you understand what beatboxing is, right? Real simple. I joke around with my kids and pretend that I'm beatboxing and I do the boots and cats and boots and cats. But really, you're just making noise with your face. And honestly, if we were to step back a little bit from what's going on, that's a little weird, okay? You know. But here's where we face some problems. When the father-daughter beatboxing duo, when they first were getting into beatboxing, they definitely weren't good enough to appear on a talk show. And we might applaud them now for their skill, we might cheer for them, but I wonder if they faced resistance when they were first getting started. Did anyone tell them that, oh, you're not really good at that, or maybe you should find a new hobby? Here's another thing to think about. Beatboxing in general is considered pretty cool and interesting. If you're a decent beatboxer, it's not very likely that someone's going to tell you that beatboxing is weird or laugh at you for liking it. When you have a distinct skill that's also cool or trendy, that is great news for you. But what about when things that make someone distinct are a lot riskier than being weirdly good at beatboxing? What if a person's uniqueness actually makes them the target of people's cruelty? What if when we spotted differences in the way people talk or look or play a game, laugh at a joke, or interact with others, we didn't react by criticizing or mocking them? What if we could learn to celebrate the things that make us different? For the last few weeks, we've been talking about how great it is to be different. And that's true. But we can't finish this series without also talking about the times when being different is difficult. Now, I don't know if everyone watching has had an experience like this, but I'm guessing many of us have. It's hard to forget being treated that way because of our differences. And sometimes being excluded because of our differences makes us want to treat other people the same way we have been treated. We might not mean to do that, but we do. So tonight, this is the final night of our Distinct series. As we wrap up this series tonight, here's the question I want you to ask yourself. In my world, who is being hurt or excluded because of their differences, and how can we celebrate those differences instead? So let's see what the Bible has to say about that. We're picking up where we left off last week. This is a passage written by the Apostle Paul to the early followers of Jesus in a city called Corinth. Now, if you were here last week, you know that before Paul met Jesus, he spent a lot of time hunting down Christians, trying to throw them in prison, or trying to have them killed because of their differences in beliefs. But when Paul meets Jesus, everything changed, and he started spreading the good news of Jesus and helping lead the early church, sometimes by writing letters of guidance to different faith communities. Now, Paul's letter to the Corinthians is one of those letters. In it, Paul helps his fellow Jesus followers figure out not only how to love God, but how to love each other too. In this case, Paul's sending the folks at Corinth a letter of correction because they had been getting some things a little wrong. We don't know all the details of what's going on, but in the section we're about to read, you can tell some people might have had a little bit of a pride problem. It appears some members of this faith community were so impressed with themselves, their gifts, and the things that made them unique that they actually belittled people who weren't like them. Here's what Paul said to correct them and get them back on the right track. We're going to read 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 12 through 31. It says, "The body is a unit, though it is made up of many parts, and though all its parts are many, they form one body. So it is with Christ. For we were all baptized by one Spirit into one body, whether Jews or Greeks, slave or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink. Now, the body is not made up of one part, but of many. If the foot should say, 'Because I'm not a hand, I do not belong to the body,' it would not for that reason cease to be part of the body. And if the ear should say, 'Because I'm not an eye, I don't belong to the body,' it would not for that reason cease to be part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has arranged the parts in the body, every one of them, just as he wanted them to be. If they were all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body. The eye can't say to the hand, 'I don't need you.' And the head can't say to the feet, 'I don't need you.' On the contrary, those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable, and the parts we think are less honorable we treat with special honor, and the parts that are unpresentable are treated with special modesty, while our presentable parts need no special treatment. But God has combined the members of the body and has given greater honor to the parts that lacked it, so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. Now, you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it. And in the church, God has appointed, first of all, apostles, second, prophets, third, teachers, then workers of miracles, and those having gifts of healing, those able to help others, those with gifts of administration, and those speaking in different kinds of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Do all work miracles? Do all have gifts of healing? Do all speak in tongues? Do all interpret? But eagerly desire the greater gifts. And so Paul asks a lot of questions in there, and he never doesn't really give an answer because the answer is supposed to be pretty obvious. Paul uses the illustration of our bodies to talk about how followers of Jesus, or the body of Christ, should function. And in Corinth, things weren't functioning the way that they should. The Corinthians were lifting some people higher, and they were putting some other people down. And they were basing these things on the gifts that they had and the things that they could contribute. They were buying into the culture that some gifts were meant to be celebrated while others should be ignored. But Paul needed them to see that in God's kingdom, every person matters and should be celebrated for the unique ways that they were created. Now, I agree. Paul is using some really weird language to convey this message, and he's doing that on purpose. Obviously, an ear can't talk. Your foot can't just decide not to be a part of your body anymore. Thank goodness. Paul's making this sound ridiculous because when God's people do this to each other, it is ridiculous. We can't function without each other. Every person in the church community is needed for the whole community to function at its best. No one is more valuable than anyone else because of the gifts that they have or what makes them distinct. Let's take a look at another passage in the Bible. This one is at the very end of the Bible, and it's meant to give us a little glimpse into what heaven could be like. It's a little mysterious and pretty cool. The author of this book, the book of Revelation, is John. He's the same guy who wrote the book of John, but it's not John the Baptist who baptized Jesus. I know the Bible has a lot of Johns. This John who wrote the book was the same guy who followed Jesus around for 3 years and helped start the early church. Now, years after Jesus left the earth, God gave John a vision that John then shared with the churches that existed in Western Asia at the time. These were churches that were being persecuted and were experiencing all kinds of suffering. So we're going to start reading in Revelation chapter 7. Revelation chapter 7, verses 9 and 10. This is what John says. After this, I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and in front of the Lamb. They were wearing white robes and were holding palm branches in their hands. And they cried out in a loud voice, "Salvation belongs to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb." So in John's vision of heaven, everyone who showed up to worship God represented a huge diversity of backgrounds, experiences, ethnicities, and more. John saw that in God's kingdom, everyone is welcome. Not just the people who agree about everything, not just the most powerful people, not just the good-looking, the cool or influential people, not just one language or race or ethnicity or culture, not just people with lots of money or able bodies or social media followers. It's every tribe, every tongue, it's everyone from everywhere. It's unity, but it's not sameness. It's unity and diversity, and both are reasons to celebrate. And once we acknowledge what makes us each distinct from one another, then we can truly see the beauty within our communities. Just like your body wouldn't work if it was just one giant foot, God made each of us with different qualities and abilities, and that's why we can celebrate instead of criticizing our distinctions. You know, we're naturally gifted at spotting certain differences in people. Now, that in itself, it's not a bad thing. The things that make us unique are not bad. So noticing those differences, that's not a bad thing either. It's what we do about those differences that matter. When we notice there's something different about someone, we have a choice. We could mock, judge, criticize them for their differences, and let's be honest, we've all done that before. We could try and ignore the thing that makes them different. But why? If the things that make them unique are good, then shouldn't we see them? We shouldn't need to ignore them. We could notice the thing that makes them different. We could appreciate it. And we could celebrate it. Imagine if once we spotted the differences between each other, what if we actually focused on appreciating and celebrating those differences? That would be a total shift from what normally happens, right? So, how exactly can we do this? I have a few ideas. You might want to write them down, along with your own ideas, your own thoughts, your questions too. If there's something that you're not sure about and you want to talk about it, write it down. My first idea, admit when it's uncomfortable. The truth is, sometimes we get uncomfortable with people who are different, especially if their distinction has to do with sensitive topics like race, ethnicity, politics, money, or disabilities. And it's okay if you're uncomfortable. It's okay if you feel like one person's differences are a bad thing while someone else's differences are a good thing. What's not okay is ignoring that feeling and pretending that it doesn't exist. You see, getting outside of our comfort zone is, spoiler alert, uncomfortable. But if you can step out and get to know people who aren't like you, the borders of your comfort zone will get bigger and expand, and you might even make some new friends. My second idea, learn about people's distinctions. Is there a certain kind of distinction that makes you feel uncomfortable? Are you not sure how to talk to someone who comes from a different kind of background, a different family or culture or neighborhood than you? Are you unsure how to interact with someone who has a disability? What about people from different social circles or with different interests and things that maybe you don't know anything about those things? When you notice that you're uncomfortable with a certain kind of difference, try learning more about it. Sometimes we're scared about things that we don't understand, but a little bit of information helps us to open up. The more you learn, the more you start to realize so many of our differences aren't weird, they're just different. My last idea, choose to celebrate people's distinctions. This step, choosing to celebrate people's distinction, it starts up here in our minds. We have to think about it. We have to make a conscious decision to do it. But it can't end here. It has to turn into an action. When you notice someone's distinctions, it means spending time together. You can celebrate someone's distinctions simply by valuing them as a person and getting to know them. You can celebrate their distinctions by getting to know them. Find out who they are beyond the thing that makes them distinct, but also find out who they are because of their distinctions too. And value their perspective. The things that make them distinct give them a very distinct perspective. It gives them unique experiences. And they have abilities that you may not have. So learn from them because they have good stuff to share. And use your words. When you want to celebrate someone's distinctions, don't just do it in your head. Do it out loud or do it in writing. Celebrate people for the things that make them unique, but also celebrate them in ways that they would want to be celebrated. That's why getting to know people is so important. So, this week, who do you typically judge, criticize, or avoid thinking about because their differences make you uncomfortable? Who are they? Now, how could you learn about them or from them in order to celebrate them in a way that honors them? And how will you celebrate them? You see, it's okay that we're not all the same. In fact, it's more than okay. According to the Bible, the fact that we don't all live, think, or look the same is a good thing. And we're all welcome in God's presence, distinctions and all. There's no one like Jesus, our God and Creator. And since we are made in His image, God made us all distinct. And our uniquenesses allow us to serve in distinct ways. And we can celebrate our distinctions. Let me pray for you. Father, tonight as we talk about some pretty hard things, about going beyond our comfort zones, about noticing the distinctions, the distinctness of other people and their uniqueness and their abilities and talents and traits. And God, sometimes it's scary when we don't know how to interact with people that are different from us. But God, as we read in the Bible, You call all people to yourself. And heaven is going to be a huge party of different people. So God, help us to figure out how now we can celebrate our differences, how we can notice differences, and how we can partner with other people to serve in distinct ways and to love other people well. God, would you be with these students as they wrestle with these thoughts? Be with them as they go to school and maybe observe some people who are very distinct, and give them the courage, the bravery to not only notice, but to celebrate the distinctness of other people, and maybe even to make a new friend. God, we love you. We thank you for this time that we get to spend together, and ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, guys and gals. It's been a blast. I had a lot of fun. So again, just to recap on what's going to happen next week, I want to be here in person with everyone. We can do it. We can do it safely, and we don't break public health's rules about gathering if we do meet, okay? What I do need to do is confer with my leaders and a few other people about how to make that happen and happen safely. Again, you'll find out in Discord what's going on. I will email your parents. I will post on Facebook. Basically, if there's a communication portal, it will have that information in it by next week, okay? So yeah, that's what's going on there. If you want to chat with me, I'm going to jump over into Discord. That is your opportunity to, turn on your camera, turn on your microphone, chat with me for a little while, and I'll see you over there in just a few minutes. Again, thanks for being here with me tonight. It's been a blast. You're awesome. Go to bed. No, not yet. Come talk with me on Discord. Bye, guys.